Greetings. It's Sunday. We're here to make Sundays great again. We're here to make collecting great again, fight against tribalism, communism, all the bullshit that's infecting our beloved hobbies. Speaking of which, anybody remember when gaming was just gaming? Gaming wasn't propaganda. We didn't have to have all these political ideologies crammed into your games. Game shipped complete. It wasn't you know what, we'll patch it after we send it out. Everything wasn't based on microtransactions or downloadable content. Now we got all this stuff going on with Sony. They're going to get rid of physical games altogether. A lot of that has to do with GTA 6. But we're not necessarily going to talk about Sony and GTA 6 and how they're tied together today. That'll probably be a subject for another day. But that being said, we're going to get into some gaming. Do you guys remember Pitfall? Remember when we were kids and stuff like Pitfall, Asteroids, Joust, Defender? Sky was the limit, and it was just about exploration and creativity, and you didn't have to see, oh, well, I'm marginalized and I have to be represented by the character that I'm playing. I mean, how many gamers loved playing Tomb Raider? We didn't have to see ourselves in Lara Croft. We just enjoyed the character. We enjoyed the games. You know, when games used to be about exploration and having fun, good controls. Now it's all about bullshit. And we're going to talk about why. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. And away we go.
But I actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online. Sexism in gaming.
Don't listen to the trolls. The trolls want to try to stop you.
Hey, she cooking, y'all.
And that's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist.
I respect all the women. And I'm sorry that you have to deal with abusive men every day in your life.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Racist, sexist, homophobic.
See, that's that bullshit. Team America intro for week 2 of July. Thank you all for being here. And I got to finish getting through everybody in the chat. You guys know the drill. You know how it goes. But first, little Kobayashi Maru palette cleanser. You can only keep one. Airwolf or Knight Rider. You can only keep one. Think about that. Ask yourself, Do I want to keep Michael Knight and Kit? Or do I want Stringfellow Hawk and Airwolf? That's what you got to ask yourself. Action Joe Figs, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, yeah, Commander Wolf, River Raid. I loved Pitfall, even Pitfall 2. River Raid was good. Moon Patrol. You guys remember Moon Patrol? I'm just talking about, you know, when gaming wasn't injected with just crap all the frickin' time. I remember when gaming included torpedo tits on Lara Croft. Yeah, I think everybody does. Don't put that word in the chat because I can only read off the teleprompter. You know, I'm going to read it. Flan Man, what's up? Just got home from work, about to play PS1 Colony Wars. Nice. Very nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. Charles Pickle Bowen. I still play Joust on my NES. I still play tons of shit on my NES. On my NES, on my Super NES, GameCube. I was not a big 64 guy. I wasn't. I thought everything kind of looked like shit on the 64. I'll be honest. I love Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. When's the last time any of you tried to play Shadows of the Empire? Did not age well. Kind of sucks ass and swallows. I'm just saying. That's right. That's just how it is. I don't know if I should join the gaming
community.
You can be a gamer and not have to join a community. You know, whenever I hear people use the community, I just think, okay, comrade. No, I don't. Yeah. You should fight against that word. It's a terrible fucking word. The abuse of that word is terrible. Darth Gutierrez, what's up? It's good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we are making America great again. Working on it. Pitfall 2 was even better. Yeah, I definitely agree. Is there an end to Pitfall? I think it just ends. How many of us have ever really beat Pitfall? I don't know. Go ask Sergeant Major Google, mother slug. Damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a public service announcement from our good friend, son of GTO.
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
Well, she's a guy, so.
Yeah, that's a dude. What the frig happened to G4? I used to watch that channel many moons ago, and that's part of it. You know, we're going to talk about, you know, activists who have kind of taken over gaming really badly. Gaming and comics. Wow. If the three pinnacles of our hobbying, I always felt that comics, gaming, toys always went hand in hand. I always felt that way. For me, granted, it's just me. I could never just do one. It sort of had to be all three of them. And I was all in on all three of them. But just like the activists took over with the comic books industry, now they've taken over the gaming industry, probably the gaming industry before comics. But a lot of the real talented people in gaming, they either aged out, they got promoted, or they just left. You know, they saw the writing on the wall and they just took off. We're going to look at a lot of examples, specifically Bungie, Infinity Ward, Blizzard. Yeah, we're going to look into Gears of War, things like that. Oh, do I have that new clip? I sure do. Yeah, it's right there.
Racist, sexist, homophobic.
Yeah. But G4 went too woke and they went broke. They should have never had Adam Sessler back. That guy, he's freaking poison pill. He's just as bad as your Anita Sarkeesians. And that's how he wants to be. He hates gamers. And he's said it many a times. He's kind of like he's I'm going to say it. And I don't give a shit. But he's pretty much the Larry Hama video games. Kind of. Yeah. Justin Booth says, my response to that bullshit, shut the F up. Yes. I'm sorry, you've got a tilted fedora on. Well, that guy was being sarcastic. He's just like the it's science people. He's like, yeah. You like that pre-intro that I did? But it's sort of, it sort of sets the stage for what's to come. That's that bullshit, not just for gamers. Yeah. Glover is racist to people who have 5 fingers. I'm not even going there. Dewdog says, I am street human aphobic. So I've heard. Hey, kids, I'll show the thumbnail at the end of the stream, but this fine gentleman is going to be joining me next Sunday. I haven't had a guest in a hot minute. Not that I need him. I don't need 5 other talking heads on screen with me. I can fucking carry this shit myself just fine. But Dewdog and I, we're going to have a nice conversation next week. Yes, the Titan, America. I am wearing my Bucky's 250th America shirt. Jeremy Jernigan, my good friend Ghost Daddy, says, don't expect to hear from me for a while after Campaign Evolved comes out. I'm ready to make Halo my personality again. Are you, though? You looking forward to that Women's Day armor and June Rainbow Vomit armor? That's what happened to Halo, my friend. We're going to talk about Halo. Let's see. Toy Visual says Airwolf. Bobby Vance, Knight Rider. Milk Connor says Knight Rider. Mother Slug, Airwolf all day. Airwolf, Knight Rider, Airwolf. Drew, what's up? Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things. No, you can't keep both, right? It's Kobayashi Maru. If you know your Star Trek, you got to pick one or the other. You're either keeping Knight Rider or you're keeping Airwolf. You got to decide. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Can we just have Airwolf airlift kit? Nope. No, there's no way around it. It's one or the other. Yeah, Stringfellow Hawk. Such a killer name, right? Rhino, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Our good friend Batstan says, not feeling well today. Oh, son of a... I already played it. I already played it. I'm not going to play it again. But I'll play you this.
It's science, people! Science!
I'll play you that one. Yeah, Excite Bike MCD. I'm just going to call you MCD. Are you cool with that? MCDJ? MCDJ? Yeah. Ken the Band. I still play my Sega Genesis. I could. It just depends. It just depends on the game, I guess. Bobby Vance, I still have my original Atari 2600 and Pitfall, among other games. Is it the wood grain? Is it the wood grain 2600? That's when you know it's quality wood grain. Mm-hmm. Nate Wolf, what is up, my friend? Says, what's up, Chad? I'm about to play Resident Evil Requiem now. What game are you currently playing? I am currently playing Helldivers 2. I just got Tomb Raider Anniversary. It was on sale. And I had so many points that it cost me 23 cents tax. So basically I got it for 23 cents. I've been playing the 2.5D side scroller, kind of a side scroller. You know what I mean? I've been playing Shadow Complex a lot lately. Contra, Russian Attack. I always dust off Russian Attack, but for some reason in my 50s, I can beat Metal Gear Solid 5 all day long, but you put me in front of Russian Attack and I die left and right. I guess I don't have those skills anymore. Yeah, but I'm playing a ton of stuff. I'm maining Helldivers 2 though. And Nate, thank you for the channel membership. And I'm going to give you one of these. I'm going to give all of you one of these. This is for everybody.
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Jim Largo, channel member for 7 months, uses his Chad Chat trademark, this face 2024, and says, remember, kids, Safety belts save lives. They do. I'm not going to play that clip because I will get demonetized, but you know, if you know, you know. Kenzo says, all I know is the Italian guy has always been the coolest. Let's go. Kind of goes along with what we're talking about. How many Italian Americans, I'm sorry. Ugh. How many Italian Americans are offended by Mario? I didn't take a poll, but I'd probably say none. We don't really get offended by shit. I mean, we just either think it's hilarious or it's stupid and we just let it go. But if Mario was a stereotype of any number of other demographics, how do you think they'd take that? Probably not that great. So just saying. Yeah, Mario will stand the test of time, that's for sure. Patrick Strauko, what's up? It's good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Sci-Fi Swanman says GoldenEye still holds up. I do not agree. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't agree. No. Everything on the Nintendo 64 is just way too faceted. It's all just hard angles. I don't like it. That's just me. You know, I'm allowed. Yeah, James Lucas says you will be assimilated into, and I'm going to do it the way Shart hates it. Community, comrade. No. Hey, communism only failed every single time because it just wasn't done right. Yeah, that's what they like to say, right? The American communists like, oh, well, real communism was never tried yet. The funny thing is, when the Berlin Wall fell, which way was everybody running? Not to the east, not to the commie side. No. Bear 11 Charlie, happy Sunday, my friend. It's good to see you, my dude. Mother Slug says Atari 2600 was great. First horror games ever released. Texas Chainsaw. I don't know if I ever played that. I've definitely played the old Friday the 13th games with the Doors. Billy D says G4. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Everybody done. Right? Yeah. When that Battlefield 1 came out, oh yeah, well, you know, my daughter, blah, 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 and I'm going to be on the right side of history. Anybody who says that they're going to be on the right side of history, that's a red flag right there. You already know where the frick they're coming from. And so, yeah, he was putting like all these massive girl boss characters in a Battlefield 1. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Good to go. Concord, it's another game. Steven, what's up? Steven. Good evening, Sir Chad. Good evening, Steven. Just got back from picking up some old woke-free PS3 games. That's what I'm talking about, man. There you go. Headcanon says it's a tenet of the left that you are not allowed to escape the message. It is. Anything that gives you a break from it creates a neutral ground for agreement. Must be changed. Yeah, totally understandable. That is how it is. You either got to be 100% all in on the message or the enemy. Every opportunity to support and push the message. The person who changes his username as often as the rest of us changes socks. Channel member for 24 months uses his Chad chat and says Zakanan sucks your mind like a brain bug. It sucked his brains out. G.I. Joe 66. PS2 Star Wars was great. Don't be so Commodore 64 insensitive. Atari ColecoVision. Look, when ColecoVision came out, all the shit that we played on Atari that we thought was good, ColecoVision just dialed that shit up to 11. I remember playing Donkey Kong, Q*bert on ColecoVision, and it was just out of control. Awesome. I'm passing all the Knight Rider, Airwolf, Kobayashi Maru stuff. I just, I needed a minute. I needed some breathing room. I just needed to get people invested. Airwolf blows. Get fucked. Really? Damn. Good thing we're not in an echo chamber around here. Because I would take Airwolf over Knight Rider. Yeah, you know what? I like them both. I don't care. I don't care one way or the other. Let's bring back Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Let's not. Let's bring back BJ and the Bear. How about that? Just fine, Chad. What about the fabulous fabric while having furry, frantic, fury face? Fuck, shit ass. Stop doing that, man.
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
I can't. Kal-El, what's up, man? Good to be here. Thank you for being here. That's an awesome picture you got there. And look, people, they're going to get tired of it. They're going to get tired of it. Hopefully not, but Bush Wookie. Lunchbox Killa says, I was at work the other day. I saw the singing Bush Wookie guy. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Do we know? I don't think anybody. It looks like a female to me. Just saying. But it was just a street human. Ooh, it couldn't be a street human because those don't exist. They don't. Batstan says hipster street hawk. Is that Knight Rider? That hipster street hawk? Have you guys seen how expensive the street hawk toys made from Joe Toys are? Wow. Bobby Vance, yeah, wood grain. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, who doesn't remember Zaxxon? That's awesome. Red Alert. Ethom says I was one of those idiot kids that chose TurboGrafx 16 before the Genesis. I mean, I could see that. It was out before it. It's fine. It just didn't really go anywhere. You know what I mean? Mother Slug says, when you showed that Helldivers patch, I thought of Mr. Yuke. Immediately, what a time travel that was. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's actually, this is it's a coaster. And I bought it from some dudes at the Game On Expo in Phoenix. And they were giving these away for charity donations. Yeah. So, you donate some money and you get to pick a thing. And I was like, oh, I'm getting that freaking Helldivers coaster. That's what I'm getting. World building games make for a more enjoyable bush play. Jim Largo wants to know, Solid Snake or Naked Snake? Or Venom Snake? How about that? What about Liquid Snake? Solidus? I'm going Solid Snake all day, every day. Yeah. Even over Raiden. Yeah, I'll take Solid Snake over anybody, truthfully. Marco says TurboGrafx 16 was the cool kids, edgy, high-performance system. Yep. It was other kids, the cool ones, not me. We had mainstream stuff. It's like the Sega Master System. Oh, you mean Genesis? No, I mean Master System. Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. It's all the same. Kenzo says, offended, not a me. I can't really do that. I'm not going to read that. I don't like that word. As weird as it is, I don't like the word. I'm sorry. Michael Zimmerman says, if you're Italian and not a plumber, I assume you're in the mob. Damn, dude, that's hurtful. First of all, is that racist? Yeah, that might be racist. If Ghetto Dahmer said it, it'd be racist. Of course, those fucking idiots say you can't be racist against white people. Crystal Clear says GoldenEye is better than almost any shooter out today. No, I do not agree. My good friend Alexander Storm from Shadow Nose Network. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. Thank you for being here, my dude. Jim Largo says, I'm offended by Luigi's lack of autonomy. Get out of Mario's shadow. I mean, it's really just a Mario color swap, right? Mr. Film Guy, not going to lie, I tend to just do retro gaming mainly. That's why I bought an Evercade. Look, I feel you. I'm not going to get into what I have. Like I've talked about it a bunch before, but and now with what's coming out on the horizon, physical media, retro gaming, owning your stuff is more important now than ever. It's freaking crazy. I mean, Sony off the PlayStation Store, they just deleted 580 some odd titles, games, movies, shows, etc., that people paid for, and they just didn't renew the licenses, and they're like, boop, gone. Mostly in the UK, but you know, that stuff is happening. Any time that you buy something digitally, and that was my beef with classic example, Star Wars Battlefront. Now let's look at the old pandemic Battlefronts from the original, the big black brick fucking Xbox. So you had Battlefront, then you had Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 had some of the first downloadable content on the Xbox Store, when it wasn't even called the Xbox Store back then. And, you know, you could get new maps for Battlefront 2. You got an Xbox 360. It was backwards compatible. If you already had the downloadable content, that carried over as well. I can still play those games. I still play those games to this day because they have, you know, Galactic Assault and things like that. You put in those EA Battlefronts, those games are shit. They cost tons more to make. The development teams were bigger. And it was all about, the first one wasn't about loot boxes as much as the second one was, which, you know, caused international controversy and got lawmakers involved, which is never good. But there's nothing to do unless you're online. It's just the idea of what gaming should be has completely changed. And I don't want to say it's greed. People are going to say, oh, it's greed, it's greed, it's greed. You know, greed is it's like the go-to blame. And that's not just for gaming, toys too. You know, look what's going on with the toy industry, and, oh, everything's going to be made to order now, or you got to go to Hasbro Pulse, or you got to get, you know, Mattel Creations fucking collector account, whatever the fuck they call it, Kenzo's going to actually me. That's not greed. That's laziness. That's what that is. It is complete lack of vision, innovation, any new ideas. It's just laziness. Everybody wants to say greed, but I think a lot of that comes from the people who love to spam the word community, and they say capitalism is bad. Free market society has never failed. It's never failed. Now, if corporations, if they want to fire people and, you know, make better profits and blah, 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 that's one thing. But that doesn't really relate to how gaming and toys have changed and, you know, greed versus laziness. Anyway, GoldenEye was the engine Halo was built on. Says the Angry Christian. I like that name. Who's in your picture? Angry Christian. Who is that? Probably going to say it's you, but who's in that picture? Mr. Film Guy says a lot of modern gaming is crap. Really, it kind of is. Yeah, it is, and we're gonna break some stuff down. Milk Connor says I have friends in high school who lost their minds when they found out Metroid was a chick. Samus, when they found out Samus was female. But that wasn't the defining factor of the games. That's part of the whole argument. If Metroid was like a new concept now, all they would push is Samus is girl, fucking girl power. Girls get it done. Watch this, because of all these people, and they inject their ideologies into the shit that they work on. They can't not fucking do it. It's something in them where they're like, I have to make sure that everybody knows that it's a chick. It's like Kay Vess from Star Wars Outlaws, the girl who did the voicing and mocap for her, was gorgeous, and they intentionally made her fucking dog ugly because, you know, those fourth wave weirdos that work on this shit, they don't like pretty women. They don't, and we've seen it time and time again. Kenzo says I still have Wood Grain 2600 and a slew of games in box. Frogger to ET. You come hang out with me, man. I'll take you to the Atari landfill outside of Alamogordo. I know where it is. I've been there. I got turned away. K-Mac, what's up, brother? Some of us don't have to change our name. I started at fucking Pong, man. That's awesome, dude. Yep. I remember Pong. Absolutely. Oh, Spy Hunter was good. You guys remember when they were going to make a Spy Hunter movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? I'm so glad they didn't. So glad they didn't. Hey, speaking of Shadow Nose Network, what's up, Chet? Good to see you, brother. You got your cool shades. I can't wear these for long periods because they bug out my eyes, but I got my cool shades. What's up, America? I still have my favorite handheld ever, Turbo Express, TurboGrafx 16 handheld with the TV tuner. That's awesome. Almost as awesome as my shades. I can't wear these because I'm looking through stars. Yeah. Anyway. K-Max talking about Spy Hunter, Blue Thunder. Yeah, Blue Thunder was good. Not so much Airwolf, Smokey and the Bandit. The guy who did all the stunts for Smokey and the Bandit, the Cannonball Run movies, he directed Megaforce. Sorry, getting through. It's all Chad's fault. It's all Chad's fault that my feed contains the screaming dude. It is. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm sorry. Oh, wow. Magna Figure says, I remember the Coleco Telestar Marksman. I do not. I don't. Mother Slug likes regular Snake. K-Mac likes Solid Snake. Same time Toy says he likes Trouser Snake. You like Trouser Snake, huh?
I don't know, man. Seems kind of gay to me.
A little bit. It's a little gay. Crystal clear. Master Chief or Doom Guy? I'm going to say Doom Guy. Because Halo went woke. And Doom has not. So I'm going to say Doom Guy. What about Mexican Snake? No, I don't think that's a real person. Mr. Film Guy says Doom over Halo. I don't know. Flanman, am I getting the Nexus? No. I don't know where things are gonna land for me. I got a really good retro pie, and I got a lot of. I'm pointing over here. I'm sorry, you guys can't see where I'm pointing, but I got a lot of consoles. Part of me wants to really look at that Steam machine, but I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I think I'm going to stay in like that Xbox 360, PS2, PS3 era. I think that's kind of where it's at for me. To include the GameCube. GameCube had, some banger games. Obviously, Resident Evil 4 is like the low-hanging fruit, but the Rogue Squadron games, those are fun as shit. Toy Odyssey, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, Impossible Pie says physical media is king. It definitely is. Black was a good, Gerard O'Connor, Black was a good game. That's the one that it just had like all the ammo, right? The cover was just all ammunition and it just said Black across it in big block letters. That game was awesome. Jedi Ben says most of all PlayStation games and Blu-rays were made at the Sony plant in Indiana. It used to run 3 buildings and the third shift pumping stuff out. Now it's a ghost town. Yeah, they just changed over another plant that was making physical games. And they had that planned for a while. Yeah. Coincidentally, it's right next to the old Columbia House plant. I'm not even going to make a joke about how we all owe Columbia House money. Rockabilly Skydiver Bear, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Jim Largo, what's peak wokey gaming? Fortnite, Last of Us, Star Wars Outlaws? Yes. Concord? Like all of it? Almost all of it now, honestly. Mike Joseph, pardon me. Tried playing GoldenEye a short while back on my 64. The controls make it unplayable now. Right? Try to play Shadows of the Empire again. You will desperately want to chuck your controller like a boomerang. And I'm that guy. Not now. Not like in my 50s when I'm like calmer, but when I was younger, any controller was a boomerang. Oh, I'd get pissed. TJC, what's up, brother? It's good to see you. It says, now it's all about FOMO and how to monetize it in games and toys. Right? We're always kind of connecting these threads. Always, always, always. Oh, that is you, Angry Christian. Okay. 'Tis me, the Angry Christian. You kind of look like Army Hammer. At least in this image right here, I thought that was Citizen Vigilante. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hal Needham directed Smokey and the Cannonball Run movies? I thought he just did the stunts. Shows what I know. Look, I'm a Megaforce stan. I'm not a fucking Smokey and the Bandit stan. Even though, right, they're so good. Jim Largo says, speaking of Shadow Nose Network, what's next on Energon War Room? Think we could get an Energon Universe video game? I'm going to say probably absolutely not to the second part. Next is Mask. Yeah. Next episode, we're talking Mask. I already got the thumbnail done. It's done. 100%. Fun true fact for you. In arcade games, is my name Street Fighter 2 has my name in it. Second best player in the US from 93. Nice. Son of a Cran Slayer. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you very much. Oh, Dreamcast. Yeah, I had a buddy. He had a Dreamcast. I'd go hang out with him, play Resident Evil. The controller was, dude, that shit was next level. Yeah, they had some good stuff. I like the original Sony PSP with the UMD discs. You could get games and movies. Yeah, the PSP was pretty cool. Kenzo, as a former Columbia House employee, I'm taking names. We're still coming for you. Yeah, get fucked. Get what? Get back. None of that. Flanman says, sorry, late reply. I meant the Evercade Nexus. No, I don't think so. And I don't know. Yeah, I still same answer. Dreamcast was awesome, way ahead of itself with the save cards that were a game console. Oh yeah, it was like the little, almost like a Tamagotchi, right? It was intentional. Okay, so let's talk about some shit. Over 3,700 verified layoffs have occurred globally in the gaming industry just in 2026 alone. That's after the massive layoffs from 2025. With the actual number likely exceeding 4,000 due to unreported cuts and studio closures. Right, so you had Xbox, the Xbox division of Microsoft, we'll just say Xbox, buying up all sorts of studios, and then they would just shit can them. They would just absorb everything and then fire everybody. The gaming industry has faced a significant wave of layoffs in 2026, with Epic Games cutting around 1,000 jobs. Epic Games is going to come into play because that's Gears of War. We're going to talk about Gears of War, specifically Gears of War E-Day. Bungie planning 400 layoffs during the summer. Remember how I said we were going to talk about Bungie and things like that, right? This is kind of all ties in together. Making them among the hardest hit developers. Ubisoft has also been affected, closing its Winnipeg studio and laying off approximately 65 employees. Well, I mean, look at the last Assassin's Creed game. Like, that was very controversial. I understand you want to set it in like feudal Japan, but the way they went about it, it didn't help them. It was not an Assassin's Creed Black Flag. But Ubisoft has had some serious challenges lately. While broader restructuring across multiple studios in France and Canada have resulted in hundreds more job losses, we'll just edit that out later, including 680 layoffs at Ubisoft, 124 at Eidos Montreal, following a canceled AAA project. EA, fucking EA is the worst of the worst, has conducted layoffs in the U.S. and India amid a $55 billion Saudi Arabian takeover, affecting long-serving staff despite strong sales of its titles like Battlefield 6. EA's fucking terrible. Just like what Kathleen Kennedy did to Star Wars, all Star Wars. Look what EA did with Star Wars games. They put out shit. In all the years that they had that exclusive contract to put out Star Wars games, they put out Battlefront and Battlefront 2. Just the fact that they called it Battlefront, it bothers me just as much as Classified being called G.I. Joe. You know, it's like, it just fucking pales in comparison. Jim Largo, will the move to no physical media cause enough backlash to force course correction, or will gamers roll over and take it? I've been doing a lot of research on that. On one hand, you have people saying like, oh, you know, this statistic says at least 85% of games that are sold digitally. But then when you look at the Sony PlayStation 5, just as much of a percentage of PS5 sold were the drive copies. And then there's other charts that show when you look at game titles like Uncharted and some others, they were mostly sold physical. I think a lot of this is going to boil down to Grand Theft Auto 6. And just the fact that, you know, Rockstar said this is how it's going to be. It's going to be online only. Even the physical copy, it's just a case with a code. And then Sony says, well, we're going to do away with physical games. And it's kind of a, like they're playing 4D chess where Sony's going all online, which is a huge slippery slope, because then, yeah, you own it, but you don't fucking own it, because once they delete it from the library, it's gone. Sony's gonna blame Rockstar because the pre-sales alone, they made over $1 billion in the first day. People don't care. So I don't know. I don't have the answers to that, Jim. Cal L, Xbox reminds me of the characters from the Hangover movies, except instead of getting blackout drunk, they bought a bunch of game studios with similar level of regret. Kinda, right? I think a lot of that is it's that post-COVID stuff that we saw in the toy collecting spaces as well. All these companies, they're seeing their sales increase, so they raise prices and they're like profits, and then they think that things are going to stay at that lockdown height when, you know, people went back to their regular lives. They went back to jobs and going outside and shit. So the gaming and like the toy industry and things like that, they still want those profits, but the world's not like that anymore. And that's why you saw these companies buying up smaller developers and studios. Rockabilly says these companies are laying off Americans so they can apply for foreign visas. Yes, that's in there too. That is absolutely in there too. Especially the chick who took over as CEO of Xbox. Yeah, they're getting those H-1B visas. It's yeah, that's a thing. That is a real freaking thing. 610, what's up, brother? Says Chad, have you bought 3 games this year and have still not had the actual desire to try to play them? I think I'm gamed out for now. It sucks that I feel that way. I guess it's just gotten bad. I bought way more than 3. I game all the time. I would argue that I play Helldivers at least every day, if not 5 days a week. And then if I'm not playing Helldivers with, you know, Jeffy and some other people, shout out to Matt Tracker Rubin, what's up? Then I'm, you know, again, I'm playing Shadow Complex, or I'm busting out Streets of Rage or Contra, or I'm always playing something. I will sit down and play a game faster than I will sit down and watch a movie. That's for sure. Because, you know, it's interactive. I'm doing something. No, it's just one of those things. Chad, actually, you can't edit while you're live. Duh, what a Chad. Fuck you, dude.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
Yeah, tell me what I do whatever I want. I'll do what I want. Jeremy says 343 Industries has been gutted and replaced with Halo Studios. We'll see if they can perform a course correction. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see about that. Hey, I got this image from Andy Pants Gaming. If you guys haven't checked out Andy Pants Gaming, please go check out his YouTube channel. The dude's a ride. I love him. He's based as shit and he's super cool. So this is just one of those things where, like, the video game hellscape of today. All right. So you have the death of creativity. You have the death of talent. I had kind of already talked about a little bit about the creativity and, you know, in being inventive, innovations, creativity, like real, true creativity. And then I kind of touched on the death of talent. And, you know, a lot of those people that were making awesome games in the early 2000s stuff, they either aged out or they retired, they promoted, whatever. But Carmack and team, all dudes made Doom. And then women, that's it. Does anybody know who that is right there? Because she was in the little pre-intro. That's Anita Sarkeesian. And then this bullshit that I was talking about before, like having to throw ideologies in games. You know, when you played a game like Tomb Raider, you didn't care what Lara Croft politics were. She's freaking British anyway. Who cares? But, you know, you didn't stop and ask Samus, you know, do you identify as a female? Which political party do you vote for? Are you a vegan? Do you have a fucking nut allergy? Nobody cared about shit like that. But this stuff is in fucking everything now. Look at Dragon Age. You guys remember Dragon Age Origins? That game was fucking awesome. I played the shit out of that game on my deployment in 2012. Before and after my traumatic brain injury, thank you. I played the shit out of Dragon Age Origins. And then Veilguard comes out. I'm non-binary. What the fuck? Who cares? But anyway, here we go. Halo, Jeremy. 2007, right? 300 people developed Halo 3 in 2007. The file size was 8.5 gigs. I know people are going to say, oh, well, that was Xbox 360 and this is, you know, Xbox Series S. Not the point. In 2007, that 8.5 gig game came with campaign, multiplayer, forge, and theater mode. And I'm sure a lot of us who liked Halo 3, that 4-player, yeah, that 4-player split screen was the shit. Played it all the time. Played that shit to death. But Halo Infinite didn't have any of that shit. Campaign, that's it. Call of Duty. Everybody who has been around Call of Duty knows Call of Duty 4 just completely was the shot in the arm for that franchise. Same size. Campaign, multiplayer, arcade, Spec Ops. Spec Ops was freaking awesome. And Black Ops 7. 100 gigs. Campaign. But the online for both Halo and Call of Duty is kind of separate now. But you see what games came with back in the early 2000s versus what they have these days. Yeah. And then we're going to get into Bungie. I'll get into Bungie here in a second. I just want to kind of catch up on the chat. Dreadnought, what's up, dude? Chad, you must be the father of what? Oh, of your kid because you're late?
I don't know, man. Seems kind of gay to me.
Can you have a kid? Do you have ovaries? Apparently, we got to ask these days. I don't know. We'll just see. Billy D says, my guess is gaming will follow the movie and TV industry. No physical, all subscription models at some point. But here's the slippery slope with that. That ruined all creativity with the movie and TV industries. Killed it. Companies, they don't make money back on DVD sales anymore. I mean, look, you could go watch The Office on Peacock. Why are people going to want to go out and buy the fucking complete DVD box set? Some of us who like physical media, of course, we're going to do that. But these people who they just sit down and, oh, my smart TV has everything all at once. It's the same thing with movies. A lot of movies got sequels based on how strong the VHS or DVD or Blu-ray sales were. Now you don't see that stuff anymore. It just goes straight to streaming. That's it. Maybe they make a couple of money off. They make a couple of dollars off rentals on Amazon Prime before it gets to like whatever its home fucking streaming service, you know, HBO Max, et cetera, et cetera. All that shit killed creativity, especially when we look at intellectual properties like Star Wars, the third largest intellectual property in the world, the first largest boys property, which Disney bought and tried to turn it into a girls property and thusly killed it. Star Wars gets bought by Disney. Disney comes out with Disney Plus, and then they're like, oh, well, we need content, not stories that we want to tell, not stuff that we're passionate about. We just need content. So crank out shit. Make this Obi-Wan show that totally ruined the canon. Make this fucking Acolyte show. Not only was that total woke garbage, but it ruined the canon. That's the road they're going to go down. And they're just going to fuck all their creativity over. And I think now more than ever, just like with independent toy companies, like independent game studios, that's kind of the way to go. G.I. Joe 66 says World of Tanks was a lot of fun. I've heard that. Kirby, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Jeremy says, I'm the only person keeping the memory of Halo Wars alive. I still have Halo Wars. Come on, I got Halo Wars now. It's I don't think it's down here on the floor. I think it's in the other room. But yeah, I got Halo Wars, man. War Chest, what's up, Scott? Good to see you. Shadow Complex, you mean G.I. Joe Metroid? I love that game. Oh. Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Probably. No, yeah, Shadow Complex is fun. I like it. Slade on Slade, what's up? I'll be back. Leslie and I are taking the boys on a 3-mile hike. P.S. Ashley is now a PFC as she was promoted at graduation from AIT. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulate your daughter again. Congratulations to you and your missus. I'm sure you're both very proud. And I'm happy for you. Kal-El says, I really enjoyed playing Shadow Complex. It's the only 360 title where I unlocked all of its achievements. That's cool. I was a fucking total chud for every achievement, 100% in games for a long time. All I cared about was my gamer score. Yeah. When the 360 was just rocking, like after the whole Red Rings of Death, when the console, you know, and that was cost cutting. That's really all it was. It was just an oversight. But when the 360 really got its stride, I would just go rent games, and I would just do you guys remember what was Gamefly, the game rental service that was like Netflix? I had Gamefly, and I would just boom, get a game, 100% that shit, send it back, get another game, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, always. Yeah. Flanman says it's a damn shame about that Anita girl. Such a lonely life. She had to marry herself. She freaking did. She married herself. And look, elephant in the room. I don't know if it's just me. She's kind of hot. Anita Sarkeesian's kind of hot. And she's one of those, like, she's a snake in the grass because she doesn't have a big old stupid septum ring. She doesn't have rainbow colored hair. She doesn't have any of those telltale, like, stay away signs. I mean, she's crazier than a fourth wave feminist shithouse rat. And she definitely, like, the Gamergate stuff, all that crap. She is fucking poison to the gaming culture. Notice I didn't say community, comrade. She's pretty hot, though. It's too bad. Jeremy says Dragon Age Veilguard was a disaster. Yeah. But why was Dragon Age Veilguard a disaster? Because of all that intersectional bullshit that they put in it and the people who were fucking making it. So Bungie, these are the people that used to design at Bungie. Average looking people. It's not all dudes, but that's pretty much the gaming landscape, right? You got like a female here. There's a couple, but it's not a lot. And this is what Bungie became. Anybody? Anybody see the problem? Happy International Women's Day from Bungie, celebrating our women and non-binary developers. The fuck does a non-binary developer have to do with International Women's Day anyway? Old Bungie. I like the no snacks. This dude's in PJs, right? New Bungie. Picture's worth 1,000 words. That's what new Bungie looks like. Yeah. And that's not even all of them. But, right? Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, right there. I'm going to leave this on the screen. Crystal Clear says, only game I can play lately is World War Heroes. I can play a lot of games. But I've always had this thing where I have a main and then I play all sorts of others. It's kind of like my toy collecting. My main will always be G.I. Joe. Always. I have Transformers. I have GoBots. I got Mask. I got fucking shelves upon shelves of every type of Batman representation from Nightfall, Night Quest, Knight's End, Arkham, Hush, all up here. But G.I. Joe will always be my fucking go-to. It will always be my numero uno. So with gaming, I always have a main game. Right now, it's Helldivers 2. Before Helldivers 2, it was Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I played that game as my main for almost 10 years. 100%ed the shit out of that thing like umpteen times over. But when you reach a certain point in a game like Ghost Recon Wildlands, you're like God tier level. You know, I one rifle shot and I'm taking down helicopters and stuff, but it was still fun and I love it. And all my ghosts were G.I. Joe characters. But I still play all sorts of games. I think a lot of us, we just grew up with that, you know, from the Atari 2600 to today. And even if some people here hanging out now, you know, weren't born in the 70s and didn't come up with Pong and Atari and Coleco and Intellivision and on and on and on. I mean, you still, you know, got in with PS1 or whatever and kind of went from there. But I've always felt toys, comics, and gaming were like the three pillars that we just all did. It just felt like that's how it was. Anyway, Stillwind, what's up? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. We're here to make Sundays great again, and I appreciate you being here, my dude. Mother Slug, have you seen a team picture of Rockstar members lately? It's all women, 2 guys. Now I see why Dan Houser that started GTA left. Yeah, I have. P.S. That's a nice picture you got there. Is that her popping out of the cake? Is that Under Siege where she pops out of the cake? I think it is. But yeah, and I've got plenty of other examples, and we're going to look at them. I mean, they want to put pride parades in GTA 6. That's great. That's all well and good, you know, because representation, everybody needs to be represented. But can you drive an up-armored vehicle through them? A lot of the stuff that they did with Grand Theft Auto, where they changed a lot of the dialogue. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? A lot of the edgier dialogue, they changed it. You could see they were making small changes to GTA wherever they could. And it wasn't just like GTA or Halo or Battlefield or Call of Duty. It's everything. The Dead Space remake had like non-binary fucking bathrooms installed in it. Like, why would you do that with Dead Space? Like, you had to go out of your way to put that shit in Dead Space. And it's a blink and you miss it thing. Why? Oh, yeah. Cooter says Red versus Blue got me interested in Halo. Yeah, that shit was awesome, man. Back in the day, Red versus Blue. People were like, how do they do that? Flanman says Night Dive Studios is my favorite studio nowadays. You know what? I'm going to check them out. Thank you very much for that. Crystal Clear says last Call of Duty I enjoyed was Black Ops. The last time I really enjoyed Call of Duty, and this isn't in any specific order, so I don't need somebody saying, oh, this game came out in this year. Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, World at War. World at War to me is like the fucking peak of it's gritty, it's dirty, it's savage, it's intentional. Like we don't shy away from the horrors of World War II, and we're going to show it. That shit was crazy. When you're just like flame throwing palm trees because they're up in the trees, that game's nuts. Where you have to crawl through the bodies in Stalingrad. World at War is the shit. Plus, you know, you had Kiefer Sutherland and Gary Oldman. Clint, what's up? There's talented people making games. Toby Fox made Deltarune, a game with gay characters that's not shoved in your face like everything is these days. Like every game does with gay characters. There you go. Right on. Aliens Fire Team Elite. Xenomorphs don't care about your politics. That's a good game. I heard the second one's really good. Dude, son of GTO, you were a beta tester for Xbox Live? That's cool. I had a buddy who worked for Nintendo in Washington for several years, and then he said it turned into politics and he left. Matt, what's up, brother? People are pissed that they lost 550 Sony titles that were deleted. You will own nothing and like it. Yeah, it was like 580 and counting, and it wasn't just games. It was mostly TV shows and movies with some games, mostly affecting like the United Kingdom and European countries. However, that's all just standby to standby because it's coming this way too. Jedi Ben says, I miss steel books and disc extras. Oh yeah, 100%, man. Packers, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, dude. Yep, Mother Slug, it's all about pushing the message. Here it is, right there. There's the message. Again, old Bungie, right? Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, new Bungie. The message. It's about the fucking message. Big M, what's crappening? Good to see you, man. Just got home from BotCon. How was that? Was that good? I hope so. I'm not muted. You're a liar. I'm looking right at it. Kenzo says, I take my mom thrifting and always find a good DVD box set or two every time, $4 to $5 for a season. Hell yeah, dude. I'm lucky enough to have a couple really good retro gaming stores here in Albuquerque. And then there is a store. It's freaking gigantic. And it's all DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, and games. And games are pick of the litter. He's got old Atari stuff all the way up to PS5, Xbox Series X stuff. It's a massive store. And if he doesn't have it, tell him what you want, come back and you can get it. So it's a really awesome store. Crystal Clear says, I managed to unlock every achievement on Modern Warfare. That's not easy either. When you got to play it on the ridiculous, like grenade spamming difficulties. Yeah, that shit is hard, man. Awesome. Very cool. Mother Slug says, my favorite game in the last 20 years is Broforce. Broforce. Yeah. It's full of awesome bros, especially Chuck Norris. Yes, I did hear a lot of good stuff about Broforce. I didn't play it though. Packers, what's up, dude? I don't know if you renewed it. I'm pretty sure you did, but this is for you, my brother.
Wolverines! Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Packers. I appreciate you, my friend. Now go watch all the super awesome channel member only content that's out there. Headcanon says Anita Sarkeesian got into gaming like a mafia don. She would threaten to stir up Twitter trouble if a company didn't hire her. Yeah, absolutely. She did that a lot. She did that to BioWare. not that long ago, like right after she kind of lost her relevance, she did one of those like backhanded compliment, like not so subtle threats to BioWare. Oh yeah, she is fucking terrible. You guys know, most everybody that comes here knows that sometimes I have the connection problem going on, and I don't really get into detail about it. The journalist from Kotaku, the one that was really annoying, that always threatened to fight people. Like she went after like Melanie Mack and some other YouTubers. Her name's escaping me right now. Somebody's going to say it. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that bitch. She was freaking terrible too. But all of them, right? They only care about like everything that's driven by emotion. Like this is all driven by emotion. This isn't about like, let's make good games. Let's put out quality stuff. Let's innovate. That was this, right? This is all about my identity and girl power and fucking, it's all based on emotions because I want to feel good, not put out good products, right? And yes, that's that bullshit right there. Yeah, these are modern developers in a nutshell. 100%. Yeah. And there's more examples too. We're going to talk about Infinity Ward here in a minute. Yeah. Darth Gutierrez says, non-binary, Heavenly Father, don't leave America. Nope. Definitely don't go to the Middle East. Jim Largo, that's a whole lot of soy latte Karen energy at Bungie now. Oh, yeah, you mean this? Sure is. But these are all the people, you know, putting out the broken, you know, we'll patch it later. These are all your community. These are all like your community managers and your fucking developers and stuff. No. Pop Blender, binary or non-binary, them bitches can't code ones or zeros, let alone a video game. Well, but when we talk about DEI, right, you got to get DEI in the mix. Diversity, which applies to everybody except for we know who, right? Diversity doesn't apply to whites or Christians or hetero people. It just applies to everybody else. Equity is not equality. They're completely different things. And I don't see a lot of inclusion here. Does this look inclusive? I wouldn't want to be included in that. How would any of you like to be standing right in the middle of this? I fucking wouldn't. You want to talk about awkward? That's just as awkward as when Emily made frickin' Lenny and Tony and Corey and those guys like at virtual gunpoint give their pronouns on one of their Hasbro QVC live streams. They all looked uncomfortable, but you know, she was their self-appointed pride warrior, so she's going to inject her bullshit because these people can't not. They just can't not. It's like you could be anywhere within the proximity of a vegan. You're going to know they're fucking vegan immediately because they will tell you. Mike Joseph, currently playing the new Doom the Dark Ages DLC. It's apparently 12 to 13 hour campaign and likely the last Doom we get for a bit. Yes, dude, enjoy it. Those new Dooms are, I like them. I do. Hell yeah, Terry says Wildlands forever. You know it, dude. I fucking love Wildlands. Dreadnock says, Chad knows I'm totally aware of the state of gaming. This should be a great show. I, for one, love all the people getting fired, go woke, go broke, DEI losers. Make merit matter again. Absolutely, man. 100%. And in a little bit, I'm going to talk about what's coming up starting next Monday with the channel. Thanks to me being retired again. And I'm going to do a whole show just talking about Sony, how it relates to GTA 6, kind of a hand in hand, you know, what's going on, break a lot of that stuff down, talk more about Xbox, the weird kind of hostile takeover, because the woman who was the heir apparent to take over Xbox didn't take over Xbox, and you know, now the H-1B visas and firing of people. So there's a lot of stuff going on specifically with Sony and Microsoft when we talk about gaming, PlayStation, Xbox, respectively. 49er Brian freaking gifted 5 channel memberships. Dude, thank you so much. I would say congratulations to the 5 of you who got them. Hopefully you enjoy them. Maybe it's a hate watcher. I don't know. Brian, this is for you. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you for helping to keep the lights on around here because, I need it so bad. No, just kidding.
Wolverines! Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Cooter says Resident Evil will always be my main game series, followed closely by Metal Gear. Cooter, does that include Resident Evil 5 where you're like, Chris Redfield superhero punching boulders? And I played all the way through Resident Evil 5 numerous times, but it gets a little wacky toward the end there. But dude, I love Resident Evil. I will never, and this is kind of one of those things that stays with us. Why this shit is important. All of us can remember the first figure from our favorite toy line. Mine was Flash with G.I. Joe. He was my first Joe. A lot of us can remember those first gaming experiences with certain, series or IPs that we will never forget. The first time I ever played Resident Evil, I had just gotten my PS1. I'm sitting in the dark with my girlfriend. I'm just, trying to figure out, because the tank controls. And I'm walking around and I go down that damn hallway. The dog jumped through the window, and I will never forget that moment, ever. I will never forget. Flash was my very first G.I. Joe. I can still remember the store where I saw him on the end cap. And I will never forget the first time that friggin' zombie dog jumped through the window in Resident Evil. And that stuff's just ingrained in us. A lot of us, when we hear the do, 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 it's Donkey Kong. Do, 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 do. Nobody's here for my shitty sound effects, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That stuff, it's just part of our DNA. The first time somebody saw the Jim Lee cover for the fucking X-Men #1, it was like, damn, look at that cover. Same shit. Different medium, same shit. Garth Gutierrez says, the only console I had as a boy was the N64. I still only have the N64. Is that by choice? That's still pretty cool, if that's by choice. Dudog says Metal Gear. Fucking love Metal Gear. I still have to meet David Hayter. The one time I had the chance, I shitbagged, and I shouldn't have done that. That's why when I had a chance to meet Barry Bostwick, I was like, hell or high water, I'm fucking going. I'm going to meet Commander Hunter. And you know what? I did.
Even if your name is Chad, the good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Yeah. So David Hayter's next on the list for sure. It's Chad, huh? G.I. Joe 66 says, well, in Canada, we can't speak about anything or you get 10 years in prison now for a hate crime. You know why? Because you guys gave up your friggin' guns. And now you're being invaded. And I'm sorry. It's happening to all Western civilization. But one thing that we have in these United States of America is we still have guns. Lots of them. And I'm sorry that you guys had to give yours up. Give up your guns, lose all your freedom. That's how it happens. Yep. Dreadnought says, just look at the DLC since 2000. GTA is going to be woke, gay, and affront to digital ID to play online. You have to link a government ID. Fuck that, dude. But yeah, GTA has been getting softer and softer incrementally over years. It definitely has. Dreadnought says, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. That's a damn good game. Xbox 360 launch night, made lifelong buddies that night I still talk to this day. I still talk to a lot of buddies that I played the pandemic Battlefront 2 with. I was in a Battlefront 2 clan. I was damn good. Yeah. Jedi Ben says World at War is peak. It is. That is peak unapologetic Call of Duty. Not this Seth Rogen, Beavis and Butthead, Nicki Minaj, Ninja Turtle, Barney bullshit that you see now with Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty has no identity anymore. And I look at Call of Duty the way I look at G.I. Joe. I know some people probably can't connect the two, but Call of Duty used to be that leader, right? It innovated. It set itself apart. It was all about quality first. That was the same thing with G.I. Joe. It was all about the Hector Garrido. The packaging art was just as important as the figure or the vehicle or the play set. The price points were good. The value was there. They innovated. And now you got, Seth Rogen running around and fucking Blunt Man and Chronic and all this bullshit in Call of Duty. And look at G.I. Joe. Where's the identity of G.I. Joe? Kitchen sink. Action Man, Lara Croft. Lara Croft figure looks good, but that's not the point. Their identities are lost because you have these people. There's just no innovation left. This is what you get right here. Yeah, Canada's literally a fascist state. Yeah, well. Jason DeMello says Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint are sweet. I fucking love Wildlands. I played through Breakpoint. I don't like it as much as Wildlands. Breakpoint, it relied more so on story. It kind of went that Call of Duty route with the Black Ops games, like, oh, it's got to be about this guy versus that guy, and like old rivalries and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just let me go invade a country. Like, can we just get back to that? Yeah. I like this, and I've seen this argument before, headcanon. If you cannot own digital media, then why is piracy still a crime? Yeah. If you pay for it and you own it, but you really don't own it, you just own the right to be able to watch it, thank you, my digital overlords, then why is it a crime to take to the high seas? And that's one of those things, like, don't start none. It's fuck around and find out right there. Don't start none, won't be none. Physical stuff is king. And you're definitely going to see backlashes with what's going on right now. And again, I'm going to get into that a little later at another time. But yeah, too bad physical media is becoming extinct. And then Dreadnought says not extinct, but endangered. It's definitely endangered for sure. But you are seeing a big rise in retro gaming. And I own everything up to the current generation of consoles. And I don't really see a lot of stuff on my Series X, which is sitting right here in front of me, this big ass black tower. The only thing I play on this that I can't play on anything else is fucking Helldivers 2. That's it. That's the only game that I can only play on this console. Everything else that I play, I can play on the original Xbox, the 360, the GameCube, the NES, the Super NES, what have you, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. It doesn't matter. And I got a Switch 2 down here too. But I don't see a lot of pros with this current generation of gaming versus, say, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360 timeframe. I just think the games were better. They weren't fucking broken. They don't have a bunch of like Band-Aid codes holding everything together. Dreadnought says, I beat every Call of Duty campaign on Veteran. Wolverines? Just because. You were not muted. My phone was going full retard. I told you, bitch. Hey, there's the squeal guy. I forgot I had him on there. Dreadnought says Gamergate got started on a feminist lie that opened the door to the DEI onslaught. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Mother Slug says, you have a good eye, Chad. How good is it at figuring this one out? Which one what? Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. No, not Frost Urine. Frost Urine was the one from G4. The other chick. Yes, the former sex worker. Her. What the hell was her name? Yeah, Jeffy says, just play Helldivers 2. Problem solved. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you want your Halo with your fucking dude, I'm doing the thing. With your Starship Troopers, there you go. Just play Helldivers 2. Jim Largo, what's the deal with points on credits for game developers who cram DEI and other message drivel into products? I don't know, man. I'm sure you're not talking about like ESG scores and the BlackRock loans and all that stuff. I'm sure that's not what you're talking about. Jay Vincent, what's up, man? Things are great. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Sorry, pardon me. Dreadnought says playing against the computer is boring in shooter games. See, that's a personal preference. And we all have them. I like GoBots. Some people don't. I am not a PvP gamer. Never have been. I am a solo gamer fucking through and through. If I'm gonna play with other people, it's gonna be that drop in, drop out co-op kind of Helldivers 2, Ghost Recon Wildlands kind of a thing where you're still doing the missions, the story, etc., but you're doing it with other people. I don't need to get sweaty against 50 other people or whatever, and Fortnite and, PUBG and all that stuff. I just don't care. That's just me. I do not care. I will sit, I'll play old Super Nintendo games all day long, but I don't need to get sweaty against other players. And, and PvP used to be, okay, let's go back to Call of Duty, right? Since we were going to move on to Activision anyway. PvP, especially when we talk about a game like World at War, I mean, you had 3 perks, right? Dogs, radio, and whatever. 3 fucking perks. That's all. You didn't have all this cosmetic bullshit. You weren't fighting against fucking Barney and everybody. Even in the later games, like post World at War, okay, so you got like certain camo skins for guns, like you guys remember the diamond camo, things like that, but it wasn't ridiculous like it is now. Now everything is like, you don't have to grind for certain icons or things like that. It's just like, oh, I'm going to bust out my credit card and I'm going to get a fucking bunny suit. Dumb shit. Someone should start a studio, says Sci-Fi Swamp Man, and call it Testosterone Games. I would back that. I would definitely back that. Mother Slug says, how did we get here where these clowns got their feet in the door? Well, Dreadnought was already talking about it. A lot of it was Gamergate. Yep. The Me Too movement. Me Too got rid of a lot of people that were like roadblocks to the fourth wave psychos. So, just saying. Vegan, the other red meat. Don't we call that long pig? For any of you who know what that term means, long pig, that's what cannibals call eating human. Can I say that? I've already been shadow banned by YouTube. By YouTube, not the cancel pigs. YouTube did that. Yeah. Jim Largo says, I'm vegan by proxy. My cow eats vegan, and then I eat the cow. Circle of life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't need some weird ass game developers eating my food's food. Don't start with the vegans. Yeah, we're not gonna. Cal L, question for me: are you familiar with side scrollers? Yeah, I talked to Craig a lot. Craig's actually gonna come on the channel. They discuss these very same topics 5 days a week and usually have very good takes. Yes, they're awesome. Absolutely, Cal L. And like I said, I've been talking with Craig about coming on the channel ever since a couple of weeks before he went on vacation. If you watch side scrollers every day, you know when he was gone on vacation, which was like what, most of July he was gone, or most of June, whatever. But yeah, Craig and I have been talking for a while about him coming on the channel. Really awesome guy. They are a freaking awesome channel. And yes, I do. I watch more gaming content than I do toy stuff because I don't need to watch other toy tubers. I don't care to watch other toy tubers. I don't want to be influenced by any of them one way or the other, positively or negatively. So I just stay away from it. I don't. Now, that being said, if like Pop Blender and Matthew are streaming, I will pop in. If Headcanon's doing something, I will pop in. Now, I will pop in and support other people. Headcanon's put out several really awesome videos. He's quite articulate. And I will watch those videos and support them. But like, you know, I don't need to name names, but I don't need to go watch some dude who sucks up to Hasbro and gets a classified figure before anybody else so he can get his dopamine likes by other classified stands. And what are you going to talk about? The articulation? It's the same shit it's always been. I don't give a fuck. That's just me. But yeah, I watch a lot of gaming channels. Side Scrollers and Andy Pants Gaming, for sure. I fucking love both of them. Side Scrollers talks about a bit of everything. Yeah. I am 100% aware of Side Scrollers. Yep, absolutely. G.I. Joe 66, we can't talk or say anything in Canada or they charge you with a hate crime. Yeah, in the UK too. Yeah. I mean, aren't you guys all under the fucking queen or the king? Whatever, whoever the fuck, who cares? Mike Joseph says Destro and Gung Ho were the first Joes for me. Nice. Dude, I remember when like 84 hit and you're looking at all these new characters and it's just expanding and I'm like, this is so cool. It just got better and better and better for a while. Dreadnought says before the communists could take over, they had to fill your country with third worlders who have no love for Canada and its history. Well, that's what they're trying to do with America as well. Yeah. They love to say no one's illegal on stolen land. The United States wasn't stolen. It was conquered. It was settled. It was purchased. It was expanded. But all these people who say no one's illegal on stolen land, let's talk about the southern areas of North America. Let's talk about the northern areas of South America. Okay. Yeah, that argument doesn't hold water at all. Yeah. Immigration without assimilation is invasion. That's all it is. It's just trying to water us down. Marco, what's up? Watching and catching up in the stream, seeing these studios move from the guys I remember to the dorks and nerds, fedora wearing milady, who were the ones who made Ren fair. All of them gone. Yeah, well. Yeah, TNT Skate, what's up, man? I saw that the White House lowered their flag to half-staff for that. Russell, what's up, dude? Just got back from helping mom. See? Good son. Good son. Like I do every Sunday. May not stay long, though. What are we talking about today? We're talking about how ideological woke bullshit ruined gaming. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I need Thomas C. Howell. I need him to say Wolverines. I don't know if he could still do it the same. Probably, yeah. Headcanon says Fortnite broke everything in shooters. I played Fortnite for a while, and then I started seeing Fortnite for what it really was. No. Bada Doom says, I'm in Canada and I like your videos because of the 1, Wolverines, 2, give up your guns, pay the price comment, like the video channels. Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you very much. And you know what?
Wolverines! Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Mm-hmm. I just watched that movie again. I watched it on July 3rd. I fucking love it. It's so good. Ace's Place, what's up, dude? Completely agree. I don't know what you agree with. No, not Sarah Underwood. Sarah Underwood, she was on G4 as well. She was the playmate. Man, she was hot. Yes. Thank you, Kal-El. Alyssa Mercante. That's her. See, I knew I would remember as soon as I saw, yes, Alyssa Mercante. Yeah. God, she sucks. See, I'm going to say it again. Right? Because I'm a realist. I call it like I see it, kids. At least Anita Sarkeesian is easy on the eyes. Alyssa Mercante, no. Not for me, anyway. Now, if you guys want to circle back around to Sarah Underwood, Sarah Jean Underwood, I believe. You guys remember Morgan Webb from G4 in her prime? Boof. No, not Zoe Quinn. Boof. Jesus. Dreadnought says Battlefront 2 was PvP. Which one? Both of them. Yeah, I know that the pandemic one had PvP because, like I said, I was in a fucking clan that played that. However, I prefer not playing PvP. Yeah. Sci-Fi Swap Man says I'm a campaign player myself. Yeah, absolutely. Clint says consoles these days. Oh, fuck consoles today. These days, just buy a gaming PC, get some emulators, play games dubious legality and modern games on Steam or on my streams. I don't know what you're saying. It's not like gaming PCs they're not in a great spot either. I mean, all these AI farms are buying up everything. I mean, that's just getting more expensive too. Electric Blue Station, what's up? I feel like in the next 10 years, you're going to have gamers using AI to make their own community games and start cutting companies out of the loop. Good. They should. Yeah. Yeah, Brittany Wu. Yeah, she was the one who exposed it and weaponized it. Oh, yeah. That's not a woman, Brittany Wu. Yeah, tranny games journalist. Yeah, that's it. No, Brittany Wu's a dude. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Real traction came from Wu and his connections. Yeah, thank you for saying his. Yep. The female wage gap is a myth. Yeah, it's absolutely a myth. Yeah. Female wage gap and Santa Claus. Santa Claus is more real than the female wage gap. You know why? Because those of us who were children who believed in Santa Claus, we grow up, we have our own kids, and then we become Santa Claus. That's why Santa Claus is real. We are Santa Claus. All of us collectively are Santa. I did the same shit for my kid as Santa that my mother did for me as Santa. Always. Exact same shit. And I carried over that freaking family tradition of Santa Claus. We are Santa. The female wage gap, that's 100% a myth. Yeah. Anyway, G.I. Joe 66 says, I need to do an articulation video. Oh, by all means, please do one. You'd be like everybody else who reviews action figures. Well, the hiss is not a tank, so there's no hiss tank in the bushes, but there is one of these. That's all you get. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So let's talk about Infinity Ward. Again, we already touched on this. All right. In 2007, Infinity Ward made Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I don't think anybody can talk shit about that game. Did I say 2000? Yeah, 2007. That game still freaking holds up. The original, the OG game. Not the modern remaster or whatever. And all the shit that it came with. And then in 2025, you got 3,000 people to work on Black Ops 7. This is the original Infinity Ward. And the voodoo that they had to freaking conjure up to get Modern Warfare, aka Call of Duty 4, to run at 60 frames per second in 2007. They were running that shit at 6,000 or 60 frames per second. Vince Zampella and like the OG team. Yeah. There you go. See the difference? Anybody? Do you see the difference there? It's the same shit, right? Pop Blender says Craig and Side Scrollers is a great stream to watch daily. Yeah, I don't watch them every day, but yeah, absolutely. And then Pop Blender also says Babs is a goofball. Agreed. Good show and good get, Chad with Craig. Well, we don't have it solidified. We don't have it solidified, so I don't count that until it's done, and he frickin' shows up, because I've had numerous people say that they want to and they don't show up. However, I believe that Craig is a man of his word kind of a dude, so I mean, we'll just see. It's pronounced Alyssa Mercanti. That's such a terrible word, man. Yeah, Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn's one of those, like, she doesn't seem like woke, but you could tell like she wants to get somewhere, so she keeps her mouth shut and toes the line. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Matt. Santa Claus is real. He's the spirit of giving without acknowledgement. Damn straight. We're all Santa Claus. Mother Slug says, I always found Santa Claus was a horrible way to mess with kids. Lying early on, I guess, is the norm of life. That's another great picture. Good God, man. You're getting to bangers. Get it, bangers. See what I did there? Hey, to each their own. We all have our own opinions. So, whatever. Yep. These are the people that scream about toxic masculinity, like that's a thing. So, Pop Blender says, I always find it interesting when people say we need more women in STEM, CEOs, and boardrooms, but no one ever says we need more female electricians, plumbers, sanitation, construction. Funny, huh? Yeah. They don't want to do the dangerous jobs. They want to be in charge. Yeah. They don't want to work hard. They just want to be in charge of shit, so they can do shit like Bungie's International Women's Day posts and fucking, Master Chief Women's Day armor. Why does Master Chief need Women's Day armor? That's what I'd like to know. Mother Slug says, that's a bad picture. There's only one out of them all that is our thing. I don't know what that means. I like Perky right-hand side there at the front. Olivia Munn got people canceled during Me Too. Her career wasn't moving fast enough. Same time she got breast reduction. Why would you get a breast reduction? Why? Yeah, at least she didn't go the fucking Ellen Page route. When women were women, when's the last time you seen a woman wear that serious? You talking about in your picture? I'm not going to answer that. I'm married to a real woman. George Aiken, all the way from the UK. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you for being here from your volcanic island lair. Matt says her X-Men role was affected by Jennifer Lawrence. That's when she started canceling people. Well, go figure. So, yeah. Headcanon says no one wanted to do the dangerous jobs. They would just be the one to order people to do the dangerous jobs. Yeah, because we've all talked about how people don't want to be leaders. They want to be managers. They want to be bosses. They want to be in charge, especially women. They don't want to be good at developing games. Ugh. It just gets worse, right? old Infinity Ward, some new Infinity Ward. Again, I got this image right here from Andy Pants Gaming. Infinity Ward. Look at them all. These are the people making your Call of Duty shooters. And I'm sure somebody's going to hate watch this and, you know, say, oh, well, the color of this person and that person and this person and this person and that person's skin and oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that. Right? Only fucking wacko leftists see color. I'm just talking about, like, what do you think that this child right here knows about military shooters? Or this child right here? I mean, I could just keep going. I mean, do you think this one's going to fucking join the infantry right here? Do you think this one knows anything about fucking unified land operations and fucking kinetic warfare? Probably not. These are the people that give you fucking Barney skins in Call of Duty. This is what gets you Barney skins. And Teletubbies. And oh, fuck. Where'd I go? And Ninja Turtle skins, right? These are the people that get you all that shit. Right there. Right there. Very diverse and young. Easily brainwashed. Yeah. No, it does sum it up, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. And that's why I read that's the contrast. This is your Infinity Ward today. Obviously, there's more of them, right? That's what they used to look like. I mean, this is probably the microcosm of developers versus gamers, right? I would argue that most game developers are gamers, or at least they used to be. They used to be, right? Now it's like ideologists who just want to cram all their bullshit into whatever they can, right? So they invade any kind of like space, comics, television, movies, gaming, right? Just so they can chuck their ideologies in there. But I would argue that this is a good microcosm of the gaming landscape, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 females in this whole group. That's probably the percentage, right? Of male versus female versus this. This is what diversity and equity gets you. Teletubby and Nicki Minaj skins in your games. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on to Blizzard. Dreadnought says, as a lifelong Call of Duty player, the downfall of the franchise has been extremely disheartening to me. It's like a skin suit of the old games. I used to love Call of Duty. I used to love it. But this whole crank out a new game every year and trying to be like Fortnite or something else where it just completely lost its identity that was Call of Duty. Like when you look back at the original games, like I still love Call of Duty 3 to this day. World at War, I will argue, is my favorite Call of Duty game, period. But it's just, yeah, Dreadnought, you're dead on the money. It is not what it used to be. Not even close. Not a chance. And that, you know, I argued at the beginning of the stream, somebody wants to say greed, which no one has said. I find that interesting that nobody brought up greed. But it's this like lack of skill, fake it till you make it, you know, everything's based on your identity, not you, the work that you produce. Shipping broken games. I mean, some shit they just don't ever patch. I mean, let's be real. They're like, you get a day one patch and then shit's still broken, and then they try to fix that broken shit and then they break other shit. There you go. I mean, we saw what the people at Bungie used to look like and what they look like now. We saw what the people at Activision Blizzard used to look like and what they look like now. It's causality. It's correlation. It is lazy, mother slug. That's exactly what it is. I think those are fireworks. There's some weird noises going on outside. George Aiken says Modern Warfare 2 and 3 from the early years, not the remakes. Yeah, I stressed that earlier. Not the remakes. And here's the thing about remakes. What do you really get with a remake? Those are fireworks. The Modern Warfare remakes. Okay. I'm not even talking about the remakes. I mean the remasters. You get the remasters. So, I can play this on a newer console. Maybe it runs a little faster. The frame rate's a little more steady. Okay. But then you look at some other remasters like Dead Space, I pointed out earlier, where they're taking things out. The Resident Evil 4 remaster, Leon doesn't say that line to Ada about taking orders from a woman. They had to take that out because their ideologies wouldn't allow them to just leave that line in the game. It's the same thing like they put trans bathrooms in the Dead Space remake, and the there was another game. I can't remember it, but looking at women. Sorry, having a moment. Olivia Munn had breast cancer. Oh, that sucks. Well, okay. That's not something to joke about. Now, I don't want to say I feel like shit because I didn't know, but now I know. Knowing is half the battle. Junkian, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much, my friend. Jim Largo, how much longer until the get woke, go broke phenomenon cleanses the gaming code monkey work pool? I don't know. The old saying, you break it, you bought it, right? I don't really think a lot of them care if they broke it. That's why you see the people who started Rocksteady, the people who started Bungie, the people who started Activision, they're gone. They're just out. They just don't want anything to do with it anymore because people just broke their shit, Nobody older than 30. No wonder they won't hire me. But again, what kind of experiences do these people have? Like, how much collective game design, coding, story, dialogue, script, all that stuff, how much experience do you think is here in this entire picture versus here? I'd probably say that this group had way more experience than all of this group put together. Sci-Fi Swampman says it's not greed, it's suicidal empathy definitely contributes. It does. Yeah, I'd agree. Mother Slug says day one patch, WTF, picture back then Nintendo. What? But games used to ship only when games were done, and those people knew how to make games. Again, this group, right, used some kind of voodoo to get Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 in 2007 to run at 60 frames per second. I mean, look at the stuff that all the people at Nintendo did. Look at what Shigeru Miyamoto was capable of doing. Metal Gear. Like, Metal Gear wasn't even supposed to be a project Hideo Kojima was on another project and it got canceled. If it wasn't for that project getting canceled, we would have never had Metal Gear, or whatever it was originally called. Invader? I think it was originally called Invader. And he didn't have the processing power to make the game that he wanted to make. And so he made stealth, espionage, you know? He made that genre. Accidentally. I mean, look at Resident Evil 4 and the whole thing with Devil May Cry, and how these things, they would always turn adversity into a win, into a blockbuster. And yeah, Mother Slug, you're absolutely right. They used to ship games that were freaking awesome, and they were innovative, and they were original. And now you just get, you know, ideologies, bullshit. You got characters in Dragon Age talking about their non-binary. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody gives a fuck about that. All these people who scream, well, I want to be represented in the video games that I play. That's this crowd. That's this crowd. That's this generation right here. They can't just play a game and be Solid Snake or Sam Fisher or Lara Croft or Samus. Nobody gave a fuck that Samus was a female. We talked about that earlier. Nobody cared. Who cares? They don't care if you're vegan, or if you have a gluten allergy, or if you identified as handy capable. Nobody cares about that. Good games. Just put out good games. But they don't want to put out good games. They want to put their bullshit into the games. Instead of putting the effort into shipping a game that's complete, that works, that runs, relatively free of bugs. It's like, the better our consoles get, the worse the game designing gets. And that's the crazy thing. And, you know, the only real factor is this, because computing power has gone way up. I mean, I don't care if you have a fucking Android or an iPhone or whatever. I mean, think about the amount of power that your cell phone has versus an NES. And yet, the people who code games now can't code games better than motherfuckers who were doing it 40 years ago. Clint says video games were broken on launch even back then. Like Bethesda games were broken on launch until they patched them out. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're talking about, but I could still fire up my PS1 Metal Gear Solid and that thing runs like a champ. Or I still play Contra on my NES all the time. I guess it just depends on how far back you're talking. Games being allowed to ship broken and buggy didn't happen until online gaming. It wasn't a thing because they could not fix them. They were allowed to ship games and like, oh, we'll just patch it after we ship them, when they could patch things like OTA, like over the air, over the internet. No games before that ship broken. I mean, if they did, sure, there were some where they're like, oh, this game's fucked up. But that's different than knowing you can't code a game worth of fuck, right? This guy, especially, he didn't even brush his hair. Look at this dude. Brush your hair, dude. Totally different thing. Yeah. Steven says, this is why I would only buy the original games, not the remasters. Yeah, not remasters, not remakes. The OG games. Get the OG games. 100%. Mr. Film Guy says, wait, they did that to Resident Evil 4? Yeah, they did. Yep. The Resident Evil 4 remaster. Yeah, they took a bunch of Leon's based lines out of that game. Let's see why. It's just Leon's character, you know, but they can't have that. George Aiken, good to see you. Thank you for being here, my friend, and have a good night. Dreadnought says Olivia Munn looks like a Urukai from Lord of the Rings these days. I'm sure she doesn't look as bad as Madonna. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she does, but who knows? Mother Slug says, at least it's a small community of idiots. I would be scared if it was a third of the population. No, it's definitely not. No, it's definitely not. Day one patches became a thing on the Xbox One and PS4 generation. There were some examples. PS3, Xbox 360. It was very rare though, but again, it didn't happen until you had, your PlayStation Network and your Xbox Live. They needed those to send out those patches, and those didn't become really popular until Xbox One, PS4 generation. But there were a few examples earlier, not a lot. Dreadnought says, I just want old Nintendo side-scrollers remastered in Unreal Engine 6, Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania, Mega Man, Narc, etc. Dude, Narc. They're fucking throwing the syringes. Remastered side-scrollers would be badass. Dude, I would love to see something done with the original Metal Gear games. And I'm talking like Metal Gear and the no shit Metal Gear 2, and include the non-Hideo Kojima Snake's Revenge. I would like to see that. And I wouldn't mind if they took Metal Gear Solid and gave me modern controls from Metal Gear Solid like they did with Tomb Raider, because playing Tomb Raider with modern controls is way better. Yes, crystal clear. Mercenaries. Hell yeah. That was Pandemic as well. Mercenaries was the shit. I still play that. The second one's, I like the second one too, but the first one's great, man. Oh yeah, I would drop in all sorts of stupid shit in those games. I love the Mercenaries games. Yeah, those were Pandemic also. Dreadnought said we had 4K 60 frames per second last generation Xbox One, but with drastically better hardware, we still get 4K 60 frames per second. Lols. Yeah. I don't see what this current generation of gaming hardware gives us over previous generations. The only thing, like I said before, the only thing I can argue is, I can play Helldivers 2. Everything else, I've got an Xbox 360 hooked up. I've got an Xbox One in the living room. I've got a Series X right here. And I just cross-play the shit out of everything. So it just is what it is. Dewdog says games are way worse with patching issues now compared to the 1999 early 2000s. Oh, like when you get a game now and you go to install the game, which why doesn't it just run off the disk? But you got to install it from the disk. So you got to wait for that shit. And then you install the game from the disk. And then it says, you got to install this patch. And the patch is like 80 gigs. Get the fuck out. It's the same. Like me and video games is like me and toys. I don't need to see every pore on a motherfucker's face or the weird like mustache on some of these fucking brute female characters that these weirdos want to put in video games, because they don't want to put hot chicks in games anymore. They want to put ugly, brutish fucking chicks like that one from The Last of Us Part 2. I don't need to see her mustache. I don't need to see every blade of grass move. How about you just ship a game that's not broken? And don't hit me with all your loot box bullshit. Same thing with toys. I don't need, 8,000 piece butterfly, shoulders and all this crap. I just want toys. I just want toys. Toys and video games. I don't want adult collectibles and stupid shit. I guess that's just me. 49er Brian says, bro, I brought my backpack. You talking about this guy? Hey, bro, I brought my backpack in my shades, bro. Look at this fucking nerd with his badge. Anyway, I don't want to pick on these people, but Dreadnought says, I remember back in the day getting games before Street Date. One year I had Madden 3 weeks before anyone else. Thank you, Circuit City. Rest in peace. Yep. Yeah. Rest in peace. Wasn't Cyberpunk the last released broken game before everything went woke? Are you saying last released broken game? Because it was broken as fuck. Yeah, you are saying broken. Gaming was already getting pretty woke before Cyberpunk. Yeah, it really was. But Madonna's like 90. Madonna's a whore. I don't care. I don't care one way or the other. I never liked Madonna, even in the 80s. I didn't even care. The good guys always won in the 80s, and Madonna was still a whore. So, Mother Slug says those games that sell you the idea of a premise of fixing the game at a later time is a bullshit move. You're a fool to think it's going to get better. But that's how it is. Yeah. That's just how it is. Exactly, James Lucas. That's exactly what I was saying. Can you ride the dragon if you're non-binary, or is that just unicorns? I'm guessing none of these modern coders have ever read a decent novel or played a classic. Look, it's the same thing with The Witcher. Look at The Witcher, right? The Witcher series, like where it's based geographically, and people are like, oh, there's not enough people of color in your Witcher games. It's like, do you know where and when these games take place? There's a fucking reason. There's a reason. It's like somebody was asking the Argentina soccer team, oh, how come you don't have these types of people or these type of people? And they're like, because we're a sports team. We're not a Disney movie. And I was like, damn, that's a good burn. Yeah, but NES Metal Gear was a shit show. Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Agreed, the original Metal Gear games were badass. I remember gathering at my friend's house after school, and I still remember when he got the box. But if they do some kind of a, remake, remaster, whatever, the original Metal Gear, use the Japanese original Kojima version where you're not fighting the computer, but you're actually fighting the Metal Gear. Please, pretty please. Oh, hey, Brandon's back. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you, dude. Clint says PS3 games have day one patches. Fallout New Vegas was unplayable, and the PS3 wasn't even better after that, but the PS3 is a bitch to develop for. Yeah, there you go. Fallout, right? Oh, that's another thing. You don't talk about going downhill. The Nazareth is yelling at me. Did you play Metal Gear Solid Delta? And are you looking forward for Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2? I'm excited to play Metal Gear Solid 4. I never played it. PS3 was expensive. I did not play Delta. I don't know why. I'm interested to see what they do with the whole Delta model, and I'm air quoting, the whole Delta model for Metal Gear games. One of the things I had heard was that Konami was going to canonically, so like in order, by years in which the games take place, they're going to remake all of them. I would like to see that. Of course, we got to get through a couple before I can get my remake of the original Metal Gear. No, I didn't play Metal Gear Solid Delta. I have all of them. I played them all, so I just didn't. I don't know why. I wasn't like against it. I just haven't done it. But me and Metal Gear, it's kind of one of those things. If I stop what I'm doing or what I'm playing and I put in a Metal Gear game, it's just down the rabbit hole. And then I'm just going to keep going. And then my productivity is going to go to shit. So I don't really know, but yeah. No, I didn't. I heard awesome things about it though. I heard awesome things. I wanted to see a little more Solid Snake, a little less, Naked, Venom. When you look at the Metal Gear franchise as a whole, I think Solid Snake doesn't get enough love. You pretty much got what? 1 and 4. And in 4, he's just kind of pathetic. I hate to say it, but he's kind of pathetic in Metal Gear Solid 4. And then you have that bullshit in Metal Gear Solid 2 with him, but whatever. I could talk about Metal Gear all day. Mike Joseph says, I'll probably never buy another PlayStation. I play the rare exclusive, but my PS5 has largely been a dust magnet for the majority of the time I've owned it. Yeah, they don't have the exclusives anymore. And that's a thing. There's even pressure on Nintendo to put their titles, their flagship characters, Link, Mario, et cetera, on, other platforms. Fuck no. No. They need to keep their exclusives, and PlayStation's exclusive have been going down and down and down. They don't have dick for exclusives on the PS5. Dreadnought says it's the developers. If we had actual talent that understood optimization and compression techniques, yeah, compression's a big part, and true understanding of coding. But today, most don't know much past basic coding. And that's why, right there. This one, that one. Look at that shit. I mean, come on. This is what Bungie cares about now. I mean, the Master Chief Collection, you don't have shit worth of people playing the Master Collection anymore. It's like 600 players. 600 players. It's ridiculous. EverQuest in the 90s or Patch Quest. Good times. Yeah. Keith, what is up, my friend? It's good to see you, man. Playing catch up. Call of Duty World at War is the GOAT. See, that's what I said. Of the series for me, hashtag Kiefer Sutherland. I did not like him replacing David Hayter in the Metal Gear games, though. Did not like that. I'd also love to see remasters of Russian Attack. Fuck yes, dude. I wouldn't mind see a side-scrolling Unreal Engine like somebody else. I think that was Dewdog, or maybe it was Dreadnought. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a current-day engine side-scrolling remake of Russian Attack. Jeffy and I tried to beat Russian Attack when he was here last time. It didn't go well. Yeah. Good to see you, Keith. Thanks for being here, buddy. Dreadnought says, because most developers these days don't make engines, they use industry-wide tools. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, right? When you don't even have a basic knowledge of the engine that you're trying to code for. But again, they're hiring for diversity. They're not hiring for talent. That's what happens. That's the slow slide. And that's where we are today. I feel like this picture is just screaming, nerds! I don't think I have it anymore, do I? I think I removed him. Oh, I did. Ogre's not on here anymore. You know what I do have for this picture, though? Here you go.
Girl power!
There you go. How about that? That works. That applies. 49er Brian says, I wonder how many of these kids are Chinese exchange students hired right after graduating from our U.S. colleges. I have no idea. No idea. Yeah, I talked about Concord a little bit, Mr. Film Guy. Pathetic. Totally shut down. Even Anthem, right? Remember where they were talking about Anthem? Oh, it's got a Halo killer. Oh, fucking Anthem. Anthem got shut down. They don't know how to make good original shit anymore. Yeah, Jeffy's right. Cyberpunk just made the most noise. Lots of games ship fucked. That's true. They do. John, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the girl power. Yeah, that's true, Dreadnought. People had high expectations for Cyberpunk because of Witcher 3. And I did hear it's a really good game now. I've heard that from numerous people. No interest. I just don't. There's a lot of games that I have no interest in playing. I've never even played a Fallout game. You know why? Because I don't fucking care. I just don't. So, Oh, hey, everybody. Slate on Slate is back from their hike. They did not get mauled by wildlife. That's good. Pop Blender says, I'm happy for a new Fallout game. Hey, I was just talking about that. Per the leaks, but concerned Obsidian is making it. It's not the same team that made New Vegas. Obsidian is woke as hell. The teams making all of these games now are not the same teams that used to make games, right? This is old Infinity Ward. There you go. Yeah. This is your Activision Blizzard team that makes all their bullshit now. Oh, yeah, Mother Slug Rampage is freaking awesome, man. John says they're blowing through the Silent Hill remakes quick, fast, and in a hurry. Nice, man. That's cool. I haven't played a Silent Hill game in a hot minute. Liquid Snake didn't get enough love. Do you guys wonder if Revolver Ocelot jerked off with his arm? Can I say that? I already said it. It's too late. Oh. Before, during, or after it possessed him? I'd like to know. John says, so I'd take them at their word about Metal Gear remakes is my point. Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, I'm all for it. Master Chief Collection is the best value in gaming. Dude, I fucking love ODST. Nathan Fillion. ODST was one of my favorite. I find full lobbies in Master Chief Collection pretty regularly to this day. Well, I mean, the numbers don't lie. It is what it is, but it also depends on what you're playing it on. But they don't have many concurrent players. I'd love a new Killzone game on PlayStation, but the developer is too busy with Horizon stuff, and Sony hasn't had any interest in exclusive first-person shooters games in years. Yeah, see, back to they don't have shit all for exclusives anymore. Mother Slug says, let's worry about who they hire based on the sex and skin color, not their qualifications of an actual gamer. They will eventually fail and bomb the industry, which they will blame the white man. Well, that's DEI. You just described what DEI is. That's what DEI is, and that's what it does. It's not put the right people in the right positions. It's, oh, you check this box, and you check that box, and you check 3 boxes. Here's your job that you didn't fucking earn. That's all it is. Everybody knows it. I love Key and Peele. I fucking love Key and Peele. Mass Effect got shelved indefinitely for Anthem. Yeah. The Mass Effect remakes, they went a little woke too. Sure did. Absolutely did. Fallout's going to be woke. 100%. Yep. Yes, Steven, I did get into Wolfenstein. Did you see what happened with the later Wolfenstein games? Yeah, it's the girls, and it's not good, right? Yeah, it's not good. Jeremy said it. I hated Master Gunner School. I loved Mike Golf. Loved it. It's an Army joke for some of you who don't know. We have a school at Fort Benning up in Harmony Church. It's called Master Gunner. And you can be a Master Gunner for all sorts of things. I was a heavy weapons Master Gunner. There's tank Master Gunner. There's freaking helicopter gunnery Master Gunner, and all sorts of Master Gunnery. But yeah, it's a lot of interpolative math. Interpolative math is what people like to call rocket science. Dude, I loved Mike Golf. I loved it. I breezed through Senior Gunner, and then Mike Golf was just enough of a challenge. Fucking loved it. Milt Connor says, 100 nerds sitting on the stairs. I'm doing my part. Yeah, they absolutely are. Speaking of Rampage, did you see they're remaking Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee? I did not, and it's coming out in a couple of months. I will be all about that. Janae, what's up, dude? Hey, at work listening. Tough Nerd Toys, that's my dude. Good to see you, man. Now, I don't know if I'd care for a remake of Burger Time. Q*bert was fun. I like Q*bert because it was all about, spatial intelligence and stuff. Q*bert was a smart game because you think you're just jumping on platforms and all this stuff, but you're really not. It's the same thing like playing games, playing with toys. Those things, they taught us everything about, spatial intelligence, awareness, sharing, cooperation, things like that. I think Q*bert was a good game that really taught people those things without beating them over the head with it. But nowadays, Q*bert would have to tell you how global warming is bad or something. Just saying. Marble Madness was awesome. Graphically, it was a fun game. Really fun. Dreadnought says, girl power. I already played it. Sorry, misogynists. I got to go watch Atomic Blonde. It's like a documentary of what the left Antifa females would do to right-wing chads like y'all. I like that movie. I like Atomic Blonde. I do. I like Charlize Theron. And she's hot as shit in that movie. I like that movie. And the soundtrack is awesome. That's a rockin' soundtrack. Q*bert curses too much for my liking. In Pixels, he does. I like Pixels. I think that's a good movie. You're just jealous. Charlize Theron is brave enough to adopt 2 little African boys and transition them both into female. What is it with those people? Yeah, I said those people. What is it with those leftist wackos and they get all these little poor kids from third world countries like they're pets. It's almost like the fag hags from the late 80s and early 90s. They turned into those, those weird Starbucks chicks that walk around with their dogs in their purses. But if you're rich enough, instead of walking around with a little, toy dog in your purse, you go and you pick up these little third world kids and you like manipulate them. It's fucking weird, man. Super weird. Yeah, she is. Especially in Atomic Blonde. She's rocking in that movie. I talked about Joust at the very beginning. Little bit. Just a little bit. Wow. And that's the thing. When somebody mentions Joust, Q*bert, Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers, you can still hear it. You can still hear those like 2-channel sound effects and music. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, exactly. They do. They treat them like pets. All those fucking weirdos. But that's like all the weird, rich, leftist elite. And the ones that walk around with the dogs in their purses, they'd probably do the same if they were rich elite. Mother Slug says, in my opinion, the best video games ever made were the early 80s NHL hockey ring with the actual plastic dome. Oh, man, those were cool. Yeah, they were cool. I'm not real big on sports games. Never have been. Even like Skate or Die, as a lifelong skateboarder, I was like, oh, Skate or Die, cool. They made a video game about skateboarding. Not that I needed to feel that I was represented in video games. But why would I play that game? I can just go skate. Skate or Die. You can skate this bowl or this half pipe. Well, I can do that in real life, so I'm just going to go do that. And that's what I did. Modern day Q*bert would tell you his pronouns using symbols. Yeah, probably. Anyway, moving on. Blizzard, right? Hey, this is Blizzard in 1995. Looks pretty standard, right? Look at all the Iron Maiden posters. Come on, man. You guys want to see what Blizzard looks like after? You guys want to see this? It's 2004. Okay, still pretty rocking, right? There you go, right? There's your microcosm right there. There's a female. Why does that look like Morgan Webb? I don't know, but she kind of does. Hey, kids, why do Blizzard games suck? Blizzard games didn't used to suck. Anybody? Maybe? Yeah. Make gaming and male straight again. Yeah. Yeah, it was an old picture. It was the 1990s. Blizzard 25 is the cast of Glee. Not even. Glee at least had a couple of dudes. I mean, one of them was a cripple. Every time my kid's watching Glee, I'm like, oh, you watching your gay cripple show? And she's like, yep. To be fair, I fucking hate that statement. I don't like to be fair. Blizzard games have always sucked. Okay. I mean, that's a personal opinion. But they suck a lot more now than they used to. Just saying. Just saying. Blizzard in specific also did something else that the industry was quite rife with. They hired popular people, not talented people. In an industry that was created by awkward nerds who had no social or financial rewards, they desperately wanted to be cool, so they hired popular kids and cool kids and everyone else who showed up. Not because they loved games or had intuitive, broad knowledge of games or good taste, but because they wanted to be part of the trending thing. That whole trending. We see it in toy collecting too. That's how you get like your fucking Buffalo Bills and shit in the toy collecting spaces. The trending thing. COVID shit. The money men, the frat guys, the activists, the clout chasers, the careerists, all the hangers on. There you go. Blizzard. I want to talk about this real quick. Remember when Gears of War was all about like Marcus Phoenix and brotherhood and duty and honor and all this stuff? Fucking remember that shit? Yeah, that's Blizzard now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's play a round of Depression Quest. Well, it's, you know, it's all like the weird wine-soaked cat moms trying to make, you know, based military shooters. And I mean, look what they did with fucking Star Wars Outlaws. I mean, look at Kay Vess. Like, she just sucks. She sucks as a character. She's no Lara Croft. It's the same thing like, oh, people just don't want strong female characters. No, they don't want girl bosses like fucking, you know, Rey Palpatine / Skywalker. They want fucking badass women like Lieutenant Ellen Ripley or Sarah Connor. Like ones that don't need to be like perfect at everything right off the bat. Everybody wants to be their friend. No growth, no development. Anyway, yeah, so Gears of War E-Day, it's not even about Marcus and them anymore. Not even a little. And I'm going to show you why. And then I put this meme in here because it's totally accurate, speaking of Kay Vess and the gorgeous woman who voiced her and mocapped her. And then this is what they do, right? Finally gets a job as a face model in a popular video game. Oh, but then they made her gross because it's a Western gaming studio, and that's what they do. Because that's who's running Western gaming studios these days. They don't want somebody in their game that's prettier than them. So they make them fucking gross looking. Again, Gears of War. Here's Gears of War 3, right? That's what a female looked like in Gears of War 3. This is Gears of War E-Day. That looks like the fucking mayor of Los Angeles. That shit's intentional. It's on purpose. Yep, that's true, crystal clear. The guy who voices Marcus Phoenix also voices Bender. That is true. And you can hear it sometimes. Jeremy says, I miss when the game devs used to respect us. Just look at the marketing for Halo 3, ODST, and Reach. Oh, yeah, man. Yep. The marketing for Metal Gear Solid, where they're like trying to teach this soldier like kindergarten shit. It's funny. Good stuff. Zero's pumped for Gears of War E-Day's Horde mode. Are you pumped for Gears of War E-Day's fucking girl power bullshit? Because that's what you're going to get. Yep. That's it. That's it right there. That's what Gears used to look like. This is what Gears looks like now. Mayor of Los Angeles. This is who's working on Gears of War. Yep. That's the team working on Gears of War now. And this is the creative director. This is the same person. Same person.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the same person. And this person is in charge of this team, and that's why you get this. Karen Bass. Yeah, that's her name. Mayor of Los Angeles. Please make the Batman stop. Look, this shit's just out there. It's just out there. Holy shit. Poplender says, a hawk flew into a transformer across the street, killed my power, got a bail. Have a great rest of the stream. Good Lord, man. I feel bad for that hawk. I hope everything works out for you, man. Yeah, it is nightmare fuel. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. So that's all why you get this. It's because of this team that's empowered by the dude playing dress up. And then again, I just threw this in there, right? Why are all female characters so ugly now? And then right, exactly. As a female game developer, that's offensive because they're self-inserts. That's what they are. They're self-inserts because this team, I mean, like, look at this one, right? Especially that one right there. That's how you get this. That's how you get your K Vesses, and that's how your Gears of War goes from that to this. I mean, look what's happening with God of War. Same shit. Exact same shit that's happening to God of War, Gears of War, Witcher. It's all part of it. And because of that. So, yeah. Again, all right. There. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what they used to look like. That's what they look like now. You guys know who this is? Anybody? Kal-El, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you very much. Charge it. Stop making excuses. We need commitment. Oh, go to your car. Go to your car, charge your phone. You don't know who this is, Brandon? Well, I'm going to zoom in a little bit and give you a couple of hints. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. No, that's not my mother. No. Good guess. Not my mom. Anybody see that right there? Right there? This is Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. Kim Belair from Sweet Baby. They're the ones that were hired as consultants. Yeah, that's it, headcanon. Kim Belair. They're the ones that ruined the Arkham games with Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I mean, they weren't solely responsible for it because, again, the Rocksteady developers that made the original 4 Arkham games, Origins is in there. You better fucking include Origins. Are not the same people who are there now. Because those guys would have never let Suicide Squad kill the Justice League fly. But they also hired this person and her company to come in and inject their DEI stuff. You know, oh, you have to have representation. You got to check these boxes. You got to be sensitive. You got to be inclusive, right? So Kim Belair, she's the same thing as, your Anita Sarkeesians and all that stuff. Oh, great. Consultants. Are they also experts? Yeah, that's what they say they are. Mother Slug says, communist is all I see. Oh, she's a definite fourth wave fucking man-hating feminist. Yeah, nice game development company. It would be a shame if something happened to it. 100%. I'm not even going to put that out there. Lady J will be played by Jaden Smith in the new Joe movie. Jeremy, did you see that thing that I posted on my story of Ellen Page? I'm not going to say Elliot Page. Of Ellen Page dressed up as a Joe, a male Joe. No. Is that racist? I mean, are you going off the hair? Radon Chong. Radon Chong was hot as shit. She was totally hot. Anyway, yeah, so this is Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. Yeah. So they are a quote-unquote narrative development consultation studio. Narrative development consultation studio. They don't actually do anything. They just look at your shit and they tell you why you need to change your shit and how you have to change your shit and ruin games in the process. Yeah. Which, another funny thing, earlier was showing how Ubisoft was losing like a lot of money, a lot of developers firing people. We all saw what happened with their last Assassin's Creed bullshit. And again, it's all these weird, white savior, white guilt, fourth wave feminist fucking weirdos. And they think like, oh, it would be cool to put a black dude in this game. Okay. I mean, I get it. I get the principle, but it didn't work in practice. Sweet Baby Inc. was founded by former Ubisoft developers. And then comes in Kim Belair and her team. But yeah, and they're Canadian. So, yeah. The former Ubisoft Montreal developers, they founded Sweet Baby Inc. in Canada, and now she is the fucking face of the company. And then there's this bitch. We talked about her earlier. I mean, I still say yeah, but I guess that's sexist, right? But she considers herself a feminist media activist critic. I mean, that's like Oppression Olympics. Feminist activist critic, Anita Sarkeesian. And this woman have or had Sweet Baby, not so much anymore. Not after like a lot of attention was put on Sweet Baby Inc. They don't have as much input or influence as they used to. And the same with Anita Sarkeesian. However, pause for dramatic effect. The damage that the two of them have done to the gaming industry, it's astronomical and it's already done. So, no, that's not Alanis Morissette. She's way prettier than Alanis Morissette. Come on. I may not like her, but I mean, I'll admit she's attractive. I wouldn't go that far. 5'1" isn't intimidating. I dare you to go say that to Ellen Page's face. That's like being intimidated by fucking Lawrence from A Punk with Toys. The guy's like 4 feet tall. Nah. Right? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so whatever. It is what it is. So that's kind of where we're living. So we're just going to wind it down there. But Drum roll, please. Next week, I'm actually going to have a guest. I haven't had a guest on in a hot minute. I don't feel that I need 5 talking heads on my channel. I don't want it or care. But yeah, next week, Dewdog Reviews is going to join me, and we're going to lay out some shit. Yeah, we're going to lay out some stuff. This one, you would let this one right here, ugh. Or this one. I think you're talking about this one. You talking about this one? I think you're talking about this one. Clytus would let this one. Just saying. Oh man, if Ellen Page played Tunnel Rat, yeah, Larry Hama would be happy. He'd call it stunning and brave. Which Larry is scared of roller coasters? Lil Napoleon Lawrence or Larry Hama? The old crusty commie or the one who sounds like a 12-year-old? Inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, but yeah, next week I'm going to have Dewdog Reviews on. We're gonna lay out a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about some people. Shartimus Prime's definitely going to get a lot of attention next week. But yeah, we got some stuff to show. Oh, you want that? You want some of that action? Ooh.
Ay, mira, 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 mira.
There you go, man. That's just for you. Etham, I'm gonna say you're talking about this one. Look, I mean, you know, she may hate all men. She's definitely one of those people that thinks that, you know, you can't be racist against white males. But she's pretty. I'll always say that. So yeah, so we're gonna talk about some bullshit next week. We're definitely gonna get into the weeds and hurt some feelings. So it'll be fun. We'll have a good time. We're not gonna talk about anything super heavy. Maybe it will be. It will be for some people, but not for us. You keep saying Dewdog. I keep thinking of Doodah, my uncle. I don't know who that is, so I guess that's only funny to you. I personally welcome Elliot Page to the Patreon. You know, here's a question. I'm just going to throw it out there. And then we're going to end on this note. If all of us men, right, who built the Western world, if all of us are required by law in these United States, those of you who are here from Canada or the UK, you can sit this one out. If we're all required to sign up for selective services when we turn 18 by law, or we could get in serious trouble, you can never hold a federal job, state job, blah, 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 blah. We all know. These women who somehow think that they become men, are they required to register for selective services? Or is that their way around it? I'd like to know. Inquiring minds want to know. This isn't stuff that keeps me up at night, but since you brought it up, Jeremy, I'm going to ask. You had to sign up for selective services when you turned 18 before you joined the military, right? I did. Everybody else did. Even though there is no draft, we still have to sign up for selective services. But once they allowed females into combat roles, they didn't require females to have to sign up for selective services, which, you know, if you want equality, that's what equality looks like, kids. You know, all these I don't need no man motherfuckers running around. Well, they don't have to sign up for selective services. So if you go get some surgeries and decide all of a sudden that you're a man, even though your chromosomes don't say so, are they then required to sign up for selective services? I know they don't. I just wanted to ask. Because we all know what that is, right? It's all just a fucking lie.
That's that bullshit!
Mm-hmm. Jim Lago says, social experiment, reinstate the draft, put the transitioners at the top of the list, see what happens. I'd back that. I'd absolutely back that, 100%. if we could get feminists on the front line, I might push for World War III. You know, all these the fourth wave types, you know, because they're bullshit. They're just about, you know, wanting an excuse to hate men. That's all it is. Those are the ones that we should have sent to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? Because I mean, the squiggle countries, they don't believe in women's rights at all. And so if all these like fourth wave, you know, feminists they're just full of shit. If they really cared about women's rights, they would go over there and fight those wars and, you know, free those women. But then they'd be like, no, that's their culture. That's their culture. They're allowed to stone women to death. It's fine. It's okay. They're allowed to do what they do to young girls, which we all know what they do, because that's their culture. But in our culture, men are so oppressive. You have no fucking idea what female oppression even looks like. So, and I hope they never have to see it, because some of us have seen it. I know Jeremy has. I have. Several others. So, if you had Ellen Page money, you too could afford to become Elliot Page. Or I would just, you know, I don't know, install a pool at my house and buy a fucking DeLorean. How about that? That's what I would do, because I'm not mentally ill. I would do something cool like that. Yeah. Yes and no. Yeah, Dreadnought. That's a yes and no. Yeah. But what they do to young girls is widely known. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're just going to be like Klinger from MASH. No, but I mean, they can't get Section 8. No. Anyway, so I want to thank you guys for being here. I know this week was a little different. I just wanted to talk about gaming, but to tie it in with what's going on with the toy industry and things like that, and the people who are running this shit. Sorry, I had to fix my Batman figure. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for being here. As always, wouldn't be Sunday without all you retards. I appreciate you very much. Jim Largo says the few females who were in the military in my time were based as fuck. They'd roll fourth wave girls into pretzels, as would the ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same with Leslie Slade. Yeah. All these like, oh, well, I want the job and I want the position, but I don't want to do the work. I don't want to fill sandbags. I don't want to piss in a slit trench. Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sleep in the field. Blah, 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 blah. No. Yeah. The real hard ones in the military, the hard females, the ones who are there to like do the work, right? Extend their influence beyond their chain of command, become subject matter experts in their field. They can't stand those little crybaby sissy field mattress types. Fucking no. You can always spot like a real female soldier versus one of these fucking like, but I can't carry that rucksack. It's too heavy. Shut the fuck up. It's supposed to be heavy. If it was easy, fucking everybody would do it. So tell your wife I love her too. What joke? What joke did you tell? Did I miss it? I fucking hate when that happens. Where's your joke? I'm like, this is what you're talking about? I can fix her. Hi, Odie. Do you want to come say hi? Come on. Come on. Oh, you got skunked, huh? You got skunked. Yeah. She's not a murder. Look at how sweet she is. She's a sweetie. For those of you who don't know, Odie had her first run-in with a not cat, and she got her whole face skunked, her eyes and everything. But she's good now. Okay, kiss. No, okay, fuck you too. Anyway, so Odie just wanted to say goodbye to everybody. I gotta go feed the dogs. So next week I will have Dog reviews on. And I got something else coming in the works for not this Monday, i.e. tomorrow, next Monday. And I will start pushing out some promotion for that stuff here pretty soon. Those of you who are channel members, you know, but yeah, it'll be coming out. Mr. Lucas, thank you very much. I appreciate you. You're an awesome dude, bro. Chad Hole as well. Have a kick-ass week, motherfuckers. Yep, everybody have a great week. Did you drink your water today, Peter? Who's Peter? We're talking about Scuba Pete? This guy?
Chad, why are you so insensitive?
I don't know. Yep. Yeah, Odie, she's a very, very beautiful dog. Yeah, and it's actually like this. She's the original danger, OD. Yep. She's a good killer dog. She is. She's a look. That dog will curl up like this big. I've never seen a bigger lap dog. Talk some action figures. You want to talk the Lord's scale? I like this figure. I don't give a fuck. There you go. I just talked 375. So is there a double meaning to that? Brandon, everybody's tough. Are we talking about my dog getting skunked, or are we talking about something else? Oh,
What the hell is even that?
yeah, I don't know, Brandon. I could read into that. Anywho, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for being here. Remember, fuck tribalism. Got to keep it real. DEI is not good for anybody. It is not. It is the new plantation. 100%. Oh, you're talking about the dog. Okay. She needs a collar with big spikes. No, she doesn't need a collar. Yeah. Anyway. Groovy, promote and watch the hate mongers have convulsions. Oh, yeah, it'll be awesome. So you guys are going to see what's coming up. But I got something new launching now that I got the free time. And we're going to have a good time with it. Thank you very much for being here, and enjoy your nightmare fuel on the way out the door. Keep your powder dry. Make collecting great again. Yeah.
Racist, sexist, homophobic.